To hear through the great Fox microphones and parabola mics on the sidelines, these signals being barked out not only by the offense but by the defense as well on our Fox production today. Meanwhile, we want to remind you that Joe Pesci is a New York lawyer trying to win a murder case deep in the heart of Dixie. That's a big mistake. Oscar winner Marissa Tomei co-stars in the outrageous comedy My Cousin Vinny. That's a good one on the Fox Tuesday night movie at 8/7 Central.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen this movie, that's a hilarious movie. That's one of those ones that I just sit back and I think Joe Pesci is hilarious in this.
That's a great one. It's a chess game, as you pointed out, Matt. It would be, and it's 3-0 with 5 seconds remaining. And kicking off will be Eddie Murray. Cardinals are 1-5 when the opposition scores first. So indeed a bad omen for the Redbirds. Low kick, and is being picked up by Reeves as time runs out. Reeves still going. And Reeves giving it a real big shot before he gets a shot out of bounds by Otis Smith. And that will take care of the first half. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Eagles 3 and the Cardinals 0. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. The Eagles lead the Cardinals 3-0. And this first half highlight is brought to you by MCI Proof Positive.
Not much of a highlight because it's been all defense in the first half, and this has really been the only offense generated by either team has been a field goal. Now don't forget there were 2 misses, 1 for each team, and we look a little bit too comfortable there.
Well, better us than them.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but I think the biggest thing so far has been Randall Cunningham. You know, Cunningham has made the big plays when he's had to. He's been able to stay in the pocket and throw, as you can see. And then out of the pocket, he's only been 2 of 3, but where he's really been effective has been taking off and running. He's got 57 yards rushing.
You brought out a great point, and that is that Randall Cunningham showed on the very first play, I don't mind running and coming at you. I'll take what you have. And he's been able to get out of the pocket. I think that this is a big growth game for Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, I've been impressed. I'll tell you why. Because remember at the start, we had that little clip of him saying, there's some people talking about they're going to take a shot at me, and now they haven't. And see, he's stayed inside, and he's stolen the football. And you can see that he's been getting the ball to the wide receivers where it has been a problem. Last week they criticized him for not getting the ball outside, and now he has.
Barnett has caught 7 passes for 62 yards and is the top receiver in the game. The Eagles will get the ball first. Herschel Walker back there with Vaughn Hebron. Greg Davis will kick off for the Cardinals. Davis has missed a 52-yard field goal. Murray had been wide with a 42-yarder before his 36-yard rang true seconds before the end of the first half. And a relatively calm game. We've been on the minus side in the skirmishes department. Herschel Walker on the 5-yard line. Remember last week, Walker returned a kick 43 yards against the Redskins. This was a 20-yard return. Looking at the halftime numbers, and what's impressive, Matt, has to be the Eagles rushing 97 yards.
Yeah, I agree. Don't forget the Cardinals have only been giving up about 73 or 74 yards. The Eagles almost at 100 and almost 200 total yards. So a big day offensively so far, but no points. And that's a credit to that scoring defense of the Cardinals. You got over 10 coverage. Over 4, Dre, 4.
Here's Hebron, and he slips. Gets a couple extra steps, and the signals you were hearing were from the defense all the way. That was a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, they called it, but hey, there's more battles going on inside. Watch Lester Holmes, 73, with that big old cast in his hand, working on 98. Eric Swan, look, he takes him, and he just gets on top of him and just ragdolls him, throws him right down to the ground. That's some good games within a game.
Well, you do that to Eric Swan, you're doing a job.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it one-handed.
2nd and 7. Eagles doing well on first down, nearly 7 yards a clip. Not that time, though, and Cunningham's pass thrown behind Maurice Johnson. And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
You know, I like what the Eagles did right before the half, and I alluded to it earlier. A few years back, I think it was '89, Montana came in here and they were pounding and pounding them with that 46 defense. And so what they did was they spread the defense out with 4 wide receivers. Now, the Eagles did that right before the half, and they got some consistency going in their passing game. Let's see if they don't return to that.
3rd down and 7. Pressure on Cunningham, and down he goes. And that was Michael Bankston leading this charge, and the Cardinals got there in a hurry, and a loss of 13 yards.
Yeah, what this does now is affords the Cardinals the opportunity to get better field position. And this is the game, as you can see, Bankston just beat Holmes to the cast side. And this is the game, though, that Buddy Ryan wanted to win, the field position game.
He should have it now, as Brian Barker will kick from the goal line. Patrick Robinson. That's a good kick by Barker, and Robinson is hit by Otis Smith. Gets away, and guess who? Herschel Walker ends up making the tackle on special teams.
And Herschel Walker again making that play. You know, the guy's a wide receiver, he's a tight end, he's a fullback, he's a running back, and then he's on special teams. And you ask him to do anything and he'll do it. You know, we talked about him last week being the most versatile player in the league, and I don't see anybody even close to him.
You know what he wants? He wants to win. He wants to win a championship.
Yeah, he does. And I think that's maturity. I think when you come into the league, you want to be a great player, and then you finally just want to win.
First down on the 40 for the Cardinals. They have good field position on first down. Ronald Moore off the right side. Picks up about 2.5, and there's a flag down. Andy Harmon with the stop on Moore.
Yeah, Ronald
shaken up.
Yeah, he's down too.
Holding penalty against the Cardinals. Moore now gets to his feet. I don't know how good he feels as he gets to his feet.
No, look too good. That's a big man too. Spoke with him last night. He came walking in, and I mean, you're impressed with how thick he is. He's not a particularly tall guy, but he's a powerful guy, and he's got that big, thick, wide body.
Holding. Number 62 offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Ben Coleman, the right guard from Pittsburgh, Kansas, and goes home to Spencer, Oklahoma after the season.
Yeah, says he's just a small-town guy, and he loves to fish. His wife's pregnant. He's excited. Going to have himself a little girl. Ronald Moore.
First down and 20. Gets hit, loses the ball, and Larry Centers picks it up. And Larry Centers, with a first down, amazingly picks up more than 20 yards. And fortunately for the Cardinals, the ball bounced up right in his hands.
Well, they called it a fumble. They'll probably tell us that they practiced that all week long. It's the most effective play that they had. Now watch, they're calling it a fumble. Here comes William Thomas, and he gets the ball out. Perfect bounce for Centers. Bounces right up into his hands. Watch to see Thomas come clean. Centers was supposed to take him and missed him, and then he's off to the races.
I think they practiced that.
Oh, I don't think there's any. Yeah, I think that's the old fumble rooski.
26-yard gain. First down on the 47 of the Eagles. And this time it's Larry Centers. Remember, Moore was shaken up, and Centers picks up about 3. Romanowski is the defender. The blitzes today, and look at those, nothing surprising.
Yeah, no, not at all. You know, the Arizona Cardinals, they're very, very aggressive. And we knew that going in. You know that Buddy Ryan is going to keep on bringing all kinds of people. Now, Bud Carson also has that reputation of blitzing, but he's a little bit more judicious. Bud Carson is more into giving you all kinds of different looks and keep you guessing.
Second and 7 on the delay. Centers is hit, and it'll be third down and about 5 or 6. Andy Harmon penetrated, and now they've got to separate some of the players. And if this game remains what it is, a defensive struggle with a 3-0 score, you may see more of the tempers flare before we're through.
Yeah, the longer it goes, the more heated it'll get, because it starts to mean something, and you know, as the game draws near, it's within your grasp to get it.
Bert Grossman comes in, as you see Romanowski and Perry go out. 6 defensive backs for Philadelphia. Here's the pressure on Berline, and he's hit from behind by Grossman. Loses it, and the Eagles have it, and I think McMillan winds up with the ball. Mark McMillan might have recovered the fumble.
Bert Grossman, who had been inactive last week in Washington, and now it comes down. You know, Bert Grossman is a player who's a hard guy to get a feel for, because he'll power you if he has to. He'll slip around you if he must, but he usually gets good pressure. That time he went with power on Cunningham, and then the ball's out, and then just a poor job of anybody trying to get it until McMillan got his hands on it.
Each side has committed a turnover. The Cardinals couldn't capitalize in the first quarter. Now the Eagles have the ball in Cardinal territory at the 47-yard line after the recovery by McMillan, but the hit made by Grossman on the sack. Cunningham to throw, and he's going deep. Double coverage. Oh! Barnett.
By Fred Barnett.
47 yards against double coverage.
Watch him run through that thing. They drop back in his zone. Now he's going to run through. Terry Holt from the inside. Williams on the outside. Watch where this ball's thrown. Look at that. I mean, that is absolutely picture perfect. And then I think at the end, I got more excited than Fred Barnett. He just set the ball down and walked back.
He has gone over 100 yards in receptions in this game. Eddie Murray's kick is good, and the Eagles lead 10-0. This is really a textbook artistic play from start to finish. This crowd is still excited over Fred Barnett's touchdown catch, 47 yards. His career high is 9 receptions. He is 1 short of that. He has 109 yards already, and his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Aeneas Williams was back there with help, and it didn't matter. Murray kicking off. And it's Brian Hennessy returning for the Cardinals. And the Cardinals trail 10-0. There's a flag down. And the tackle is made by Otis Smith. And it'll go against Arizona.
And this is not the situation that the Cardinals are good at. The Cardinals are not good at catching up. Now, we talked about them being predictable on offense. This is when it kills you.
Number 71, Arizona. During the return, 10 yards, first down.
Mark Tucker was holding, and you're right, when you're behind and you don't have good field position, that's a double whammy that the Cardinals have to face.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden the rules of the game have changed for the Cardinals. You're not in a game that's even. Now you're in a game where you're behind and you got to get some points.
Ball on the 18. Calls timeout as the play clock dropped down to 1 second. you have to talk about the predictability of the Cardinals, especially on 1st and 3rd down.
Yeah, this right here, these first 2 downs, that's going to change. I mean, you're down 10 points. You've been running the football.